Hope you enjoyed this one. This is Solomon Adams gave my latest review on Bleach Chapter 643. Waiting for you baby hold my hand 6. Like the manga came out a day early. Now that they got that new now that they got that new attack against piracy law in Japan, and like the manga, being coming later. Apparently they went ahead and put it out a day early. Thank God. This reminds me of the good old days when you get to do the things on Wednesday. I like those better. Instead of doing everything on the same day is stressful enough. Anyway, hey, hey, Nemu, I gotta say, she was a badass. And I say was a badass. So basically, you all know what happens to it. People were guessing that she was going to die. And a lot of people, Mayuri, even though well, she was an experiment to him. He did treat her like, and basically treated her mostly like crap. He did have some feelings, and it's hard for her like a father, basically. I mean, he was her creator. Yeah, Mayuri, he doesn't express his feelings much unless it's certain points. And Memo, she used the same Quincy technique. The ability to concentrate energies and reishi and throw it as an arrow. And that's a unique ability. I mean, think about it. Mayuri, he's always been thinking of her, having her grow and adapt to certain situation. We never seen her with a Sampak toe. That means she probably has her own unique special abilities that wasn't all that wasn't just all that wasn't just ordinary. Right? So basically, it makes sense. Yes. That's one of the things I got a quote was when Nemu, after she blasted away the pieces of Pandora, the left hand, and after the pieces were up, they recultivated 4 more eyeballs and literally ravaged her body, like literally, like you could see it, but her body, was totally, gone. Like so basically, I knew he had a Yuri, at the moment of her death, he kept saying her name, Nemu, Nemu. At the moment she died, who appeared in front of him it was Xylopodo Grant. Now, those who remember him, he was the seventh Haram card, the seventh Espada. And he was like Waco Mundo's version. Oh no, I don't think it was seven. I think it was eight, 7 or 8, whatever. He was in Espada. He was in Espada. Uh, like he was like Mundo's version of of Kisuke or Mayuri, a scientist, one who basically thought and things through, basically did experiments and cultivating experimental and did research. Like he was head of research and development, and basically for over there. And that's one of the things. That's one of the things he did. But things were very very interesting because you have to understand the situation. Like now that Nemu's gone, I think it's starting to show some of what he is. But then again, these are not always what they seem. Like he's being haunted by an enemy that he defeated, and the only other time you saw him, like he was exposed to like the superhuman function, which enhances him so severely that he lost touch at a time. Like everything was like a living hell for him, basically. And now he's being haunted by a ghost of that very same person, a person who was like him and strong in intellect and a scientist. But then again, unlike him, he was, not very, a certain man. He was very, like him, he was willing to cross moral boundaries and do certain things. These certain things are not what you expect them to be. And what are these certain things? Dissecting bodies, doing experiments, cultivating on people, turning them into, living test subjects and experiments. I've seen this before. Like Mayuri did the same thing. But then again, and it's all about what Mayuri say. He quotes Mayuri saying, there's no such true thing as perfection. Like nothing is born perfection. Like Mayuri, he listens to Xylopodo calling himself perfection. I remember that in the anime. And like I remember when he came out of Nemu's mouth, like after out of Nemu's mouth, and he took control of his Goziki Aki Zogi Jizo using his spells. Mayuri, he can come up with the same thing, but a lot better. And he doesn't like to be outgunned or outmatched. He always comes up with a detailed plan. And he's always been strong on intelligence. And it's those words that really he told him, like he says the words "you're right," like basically "you're right," and he takes the ghost by the face and literally shoves it aside. Like it's like for a moment he experienced a moment of weakness, but then the person who reminded him that he was weak, it literally stirred his spirit up that he of who he was. He was a scientist. It's just basically he's a scientist. He's always come with projects. Apparently, he's also gonna after Nemu die, he's gonna take her brain back. I think he's gonna probably use her brain, and this way he could like rebuild her, but with the same memories, and so she can be as strong as she was, and she could see if she could improve on the original with some improvements. But Minori basically created her, and then there's Pandora, the pieces. He's even egging Pandora to eat, her body basically. But then again, it's not always what it's seen. Minori's always has a plan in detail. In detail. Remember how he likes to experiments on body parts and put things in perspective, like plan in motion. In case anything bad will happen, he always come up with a backup plan. Like for example, if Sabato were to turn against him, it would destroy the moment it attacked his master. This is one similar moment. I mean, like he want like this Pandora thing devoured Nemu's body. It he say consume everything but the brain because if you do not consume the brain, then you'll die of massive cell regeneration. Basically, apparently he did something to Nemu's cells, kind of special, special serum. This serum has the ability to increase rapid cell production and increase regeneration. However, this if not controlled properly, the cell will overwhelm the foreign body and completely kill it, like a virus, basically. Yeah, and that's what happened with Pandora. Basically, he found a way to kill the right hand after all. Left hand, left hand. I'm getting confused by these things. Now that they're showing Soul King body parts can be a major threat as well. I wonder how we get to see the left leg or right leg. What do you think? Anyway, that's the way the chapter ends. Nemu dies. Minori he for grief for a minute, but then he got reminded by the ghost of a guy he killed that he's not so weak. He's a cold, calculating scientist, and he has to try again. Hopefully, he can bring back Nemu using her brain. And and he already said it. So he apparently asked to raise her all over again. So hopefully, with her brain, she can remember everything, including the moment of her death. But hopefully, knowing him will block her out. Hope you enjoy the next one. This is Solomon Ass Game on Bleach Chapter 643. Waiting for love. Hope you enjoyed it. Alright, thank you. This is Solomon Adams. Bye. Crazy.